Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I'm glad you're well from wherever you're watching this channel. There are indications that the courts might have to direct IEBC to open the servers. There are indications. The court could not just bring a motion or bring its own case in the Supreme Court and say, we have a case against the IEBC. The courts had to find a way of bringing back that case so that they can clear their name. The image of the Supreme Court right now is ruined totally. And I remember there was one of the commentators in our YouTube channel who said that to him, he doesn't think there is a court like Supreme Court. To him, he said he's seeing a total joke. I have seen so many responses. Someone also shared with me a message that when he thought that gender parity was this was a female subscriber. She told me that for all along she was happy wakati Martha Koome alipopata ile Chief Justice position, because now we had a Chief Justice who is a female and a Deputy CJ who is a female. Now, according to the gender parity, alikuwa amefurahi kwa sababu wanawake walikuwa wamepewa wengi mamlaka. Then she goes further and said she was happy when she saw Deputy Speaker be Gladys Sholei, and she was happy. She went further and said that now she's not happy. In fact, she doesn't even care whether it's a female leader or a male leader who takes over, because it's as if the issue of what Martha Koome gave as a verdict to her is what is making her now lose hope in the gender parity, that the gender parity is not going to solve our problems here in Kenya. And that, according to her, anasema kwamba Chief Justice ameaibisha sana the female gender completely. She says that she thought that the CJ was going to look at the fact that we were going to have a deputy president for the first time who is a female here in Kenya. But she blamed Martha Koome to have been one of those people who killed that dream of a Kenya having a deputy president, and that now it is not going to be possible for Kenya to have a deputy president. Because if you look at the leaders who are in Kenya Kwanza, we don't see a female leader who has that capacity or capability to be given a deputy president. We don't see any. That is why, to date, Martha Koome has decided that she wants to clear her name so that going forward, asipate aibu, asipate shida na Kenyans. Mind you, earlier in late January, there was a statement by Martha Koome who literally tried to ask for forgiveness from Kenyans, because she said in that statement that she might have not done according to the expectations of Kenya, and she literally tried to say that she's just a normal human being and she can make mistakes. She literally also tried to say that as a mewe in that statement. So I look at that statement. I look at what the move that they made of calling KIONI to come to the Supreme Court on Friday, that's March 17, to shed more light on why he thinks that Raila won and Ruto lost. So I think one of the things that I think will happen during that case is that Martha Koome might be forced to now call for this server opening. I think from that deliberations in that court, Martha Koome might be forced now, since you people are saying that the only way for you to know whether whistleblower is telling the truth or is telling a lie is for us to open that server. Now Martha Koome and the team will now want to have that server opened. So that's why I find it very, very much possible that Supreme Court will order opening of the server. That is something that is looming. I don't know whether anybody has seen this, but I see it. That at the end of the day, that issue of server lazima itafunguliwa, because the Electoral Act gives mandate to soft copy and hard copy, both of them, to be presented before election results are announced. So by expectations, even in the courts, as evidence, those are supposed to be supplied to the courts so that the courts can deliberate on them and make informed decisions. Of course, the 14 days are not enough, but then the courts are supposed to use both the soft copy and the hard copy. But it appeared that the court disputed any soft copy, because I remember during that demonstration by Julia, the Azimio lawyer, when she decided to demonstrate how forms were being used, for cooked forms were being used, and then Supreme Court decided to dispute that. They say that KIONI ile hot air, wild goose chase, they were taken through a wild goose chase. That is what Martha Koome said. So I think this is one of the realizations that is dawning on the Koome court, and it's making them now realize that there is need for us to access this server. Even though we made Ruto the president, but we need to open this server ili tu safishwe roho, ili tuonekane kwamba sisi ni wasafi. But if that is to happen, again there's a problem, because if that is to happen, civil disobedience will again itaongezeka. So either way, Martha Koome has jumped from the frying pan into the fire, because again, Azimio will present a very good case from the whistleblowers of IEBC, case from the whistleblower who went to Githongo, case for any other whistleblower, case of the Israeli hacker, and so many other hackers. Also the case of Smartmatic issues with the previous other governments, where they were quoted and to have apologized for bungling elections. So these things will happen. So that's why it's very tricky. It's very tricky for Martha Koome this time round. The move she's making is terrible, but again, that move is something that is inevitable. She just have to make the move so that I am safi. Because literally, like I said, in March, early January, Martha Koome tried to apologize to Kenyans. So I think this, for her, she has to apologize now. By apologizing, now she has to provide evidence from the server. Perhaps that is when she will know whether she made the right decision or she didn't make the right decision. Again, the issue of LGBTQ has painted the Supreme Court in a very, very bad way. So the LGBTQ and the wrong judgment, all this denting the Supreme Court's image. That is why most people prefer that Maraga was better than even the current CJ. That Maraga was a bit wise than the current CJ. So ladies and gentlemen, kindly share what opinions are below the comment section. But before you do that, please, if you're a first-time viewer or a regular viewer who has not subscribed, just take a moment and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button.